All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
Hello and welcome to this weekend's NASCAR Quick Hit here at SHIPIT Nation. I am Eric, also known as TheGame on Discord, and this morning, because it's still technically morning when I'm recording this, we are going to be breaking down the Cracker Barrel 400, which is taking place at the Nashville Superspeedway. However, don't let that track name fool you, because this is nothing at all like Daytona and Talladega. Instead, the Nashville Superspeedway is a 1.3 mile concrete tri-oval. Why they call it a super speedway, I don't know. As always, please go ahead and hit that like button, and please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It really does go an incredible long way in helping us with the YouTube algorithm. Before we break down the Cracker Barrel 400 taking place at the Nashville Superspeedway, let me shout out quickly SaberSim. Let me quickly pull back here while I try not to break the virtual camera and still be picked up by the microphone. They presented us these awesome SHIPIT Nation hockey jerseys. So I feel like I'm getting ready to play goalie in the Mighty Ducks #2. So huge shout out to SaberSim for the hockey jerseys. They're pretty badass. Let me grab a sip of water. I successfully muted, and I am happy for that. All right, there are 300 laps on deck for Sunday's race, which means we should have roughly 210 Dominator points up for grabs on DraftKings, and we will once we target those points. Practice this weekend was quite the interesting bird. First, and perhaps the most important note about practice is that practice took place on Saturday afternoon, and the race is taking place on Sunday night. Track conditions, while they may not be drastically different between the race and practice, they still will be different. So I would not recommend totally building my player pool off of practice results. Next up, a quick note about practice is in what feels like a weekly tradition, Kyle Busch once again spun in practice, but did not hit anything. So no damage to his #8 Chevy. I don't believe he made a 10-lap consecutive run. And truthfully, it would not be surprising if they went to the rear like they did last week. Now, last week they had a power steering issue, and this weekend he just self-spun. Still, though, maybe the self-spun leads them to make some changes. So keep an eye out for Kyle Busch. And perhaps the most important story out of practice is that of AJ Allmendinger. The Dinger and his #16 Colleague Racing Chevy successfully made it through the NASCAR inspection process and onto the practice grid, until NASCAR spotted something they did not like. From what I understand, it was changes to the splitter of the car. Someone had to narc them out, right? Like, how do you make it through the inspection and then get caught afterwards? So someone narked them out. Because of NASCAR spotting this infraction, NASCAR pulled the 16 off the practice grid, made them repair the infraction, go back through tech inspection, and then held the team for 10 minutes of practice. In follow-up to that penalty, the #16 of AJ Allmendinger will have to drop to the rear of today's race, as well as perform a pass-through penalty. The Dinger qualified 17th after all of this, and the Dinger has been quite good at these type of racetracks this year. However, because of this penalty, in my opinion, the dinger is pretty much unplayable unless he gets an early caution. If he gets an early caution and you trust AJ Allmendinger to work his way up from 39th place, by all means, play him. He's not for me, though. Over the past 4 years, this race has averaged 10 caution flags, with last year's race having 15 cautions, with an astonishing 31 laps of NASCAR overtime. Let's hope we do not get a similar race this year, because that was brutal last year. Last year's race saw old sliced bread Joey Logano push his final tank of gas an amazing 110 laps to take home the victory. If you're a NASCAR fan, you remember that at the end of that race, cars were just falling off left and right to pit for gas. And Joey's Ford just kept trugging along, and he won the race, but he was not a dominant factor at all in that race. That's it for practice and notes on last year's race. So now let's go ahead and discuss this year's race in this slate. First and foremost, let me touch on likely everyone's top Dominator play, and that would be Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin is a concrete racing god, and that's exactly what Nashville Superspeedway is. However, Denny is on baby watch this weekend, and it is a situation that we as DFS players need to keep an eye on. So as I mentioned, Denny is on baby watch. His I think it's his wife, I'm not sure, is due today. June 1st, I do believe, is her due date. And Denny has made it very clear that if the baby comes in a predetermined time frame, that Denny is gone from Nashville to watch the birth of his first son. Who can blame him, right? However, we don't know what that time frame is for Denny Hamlin, or if Denny Hamlin will get out of the car mid-race. Now, what's important for us is these few things. Ryan Truex is on hand to substitute for Denny Hamlin if necessary. Ryan Truex, not Martin. Ryan Truex. That's Martin's baby brother. God, get another drink of water. Christ. All right. If Denny Hamlin starts the race, if he's in the car at the start of the race on DraftKings, we, meaning Denny Hamlin, will accumulate all of the DraftKings points for the number 11 car. So if he starts the race and literally gets out 2 laps in and Ryan Truex gets in, Denny Hamlin is still scored all of those points. If Denny would not start the race and Ryan Truex would start the car, Denny Hamlin would score no points. Ryan Truex would score all of the points. Ryan Truex does have a salary on this slate. I think it's like $6,800. And I am almost positive this car would then start the race at the rear because of a driver change. If that scenario happens, I kind of think it's unplayable, right? Like Ryan Truex isn't going to come from dead last through the field. I mean, I shouldn't say that because then it happens. But would you rather want a Denny Hamlin to start the race and start the entire race? Obviously. Would we want Denny Hamlin to start the race and then Ryan Truex jump in? Well, that wouldn't be ideal, but at least Denny would score the points in that scenario. Do we want Ryan Truex to start this car? Absolutely not. So it's a little peek behind the curtain. It's 11:38 Eastern time as of the recording of this video, and there is no update to this Denny Hamlin situation. I kind of was hoping there would be, and there's not. The race is a Sunday night race. I think lock is like 7 o'clock. It's probably like 7:18 or something like that. So there is still plenty of time for this news to break, and of course, I will alert the Discord as soon as this news breaks. but it is something, and that something is Denny Hamlin's status for today to keep an eye on for us DFS players. And the next bullet point to touch on is the 28th starting position of one Kyle Larson. In what feels like a rarity, Larson showed absolutely no speed in practice and then no speed in qualifying. Normally, he gives you one or the other, right? This weekend, nothing. As is referenced by his 28th place starting position and his dreadful practice speeds. Still, however, this is Kyle Larson with crew chief Cliff Daniels and Hendrick Motorsports. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, practice conditions and race conditions aren't exactly the same. As again, practice happened during the day and, well, qualifying happened during the day and the race is happening during the night. We obviously know Kyle Larson is fast and he can pass cars. And because of this, he should be strongly considered for all formats. Strongly considered for all formats. However, we also have seen Larson kind of get in his own way and self-spin in these kind of situations. Hell, he did it last week leading the race. He's definitely done it in the past when he feels like he has a ton of ground to make up, because Larson's all or nothing, right? So keep that in mind when you're building your lineups and you're including Kyle Larson. He has been known, I don't want to say known, but he has definitely stepped on it and gotten in his own way in very similar situations as to this. So I don't want to say buyer beware, but buyer strongly consider. All right, let me go ahead now and officially minimize all of my notes and just kind of look at the stone here. I have projections done. However, as of this recording, I do not have ownership done. I'm waiting on 2 data sets to be released that I don't have yet to help me finish ownership. And as soon as those are released, I will be able to finish ownership. But I do have projections finished. And by far, Denny Hamlin is the most, I would say, the top dominator play for everybody. He is the concrete god. He is excellent at this style of racetrack. Probably should have won this race last year. Not that I'm saying to use practice, but good in practice. He was good in the fast group practice, Group B. I would love if he started on the pole. The only hang up with me going, quote unquote, all in with Denny Hamlin, besides the baby watch stuff, is Chase Briscoe's on the pole. Chase Briscoe gets the best line to start the race. Chase Briscoe was fast in that same practice session. So it's not like you can be like, oh, well, Chase Briscoe was fast in Group A, yada, yada, yada. Like, he was fast in the same group. He's in the same equipment as Denny. Chase's price tag is slowly going up on DraftKings. I don't mind taking a shot with Chase Briscoe. Should you play both Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin? Yeah, that I don't know. But it would not at all surprise me to say Chase Briscoe get the jump on this race and lead the bulk of stage 1, because look, he was fast throughout practice, even the 30 lap, right? So that wouldn't surprise me at all. On the flip side, it wouldn't surprise me to see him get passed fairly quickly, a la just like last week, by Denny Hamlin. So those are my thoughts on the top 2. Next up for Dom options, Willie B, Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, and C. Bell. All great plays. Probably Chastain and Reddick would be my top 2 after Denny. Chastain has been fantastic at Nashville. There's been 4 races in total at Nashville, 3 of them in the next gen car. Ross has been fantastic in all of them, including in the old car. So Ross is great all the time here. That's why he has the $10,000 price tag. And plus, he won last week from dead last. So Ross definitely has some mojo there. Reddick, fantastic here. And he's 9,800, so he's cheaper than everybody else. Seabell, threat to win all the time. Also up there, we got here Brad K. I shouldn't say he was also great last week, but his season, I still have a struggle using him until he's been like more consistent. Michael McDowell, I really don't have any interest in. Joey Logano, he won last year, yes, but he won it because he made that tank of gas go forever. And there was 31 laps of overtime in that race last year. I'm not going to take the chance of that happening again, especially at the $9,200 price tag. Chris Buescher, I like him pretty much every weekend. Chase Elliott, yes, I like Chase Elliott a lot. I don't like him as much as those in the top 7, but I like Chase on concrete tracks, and he showed good speed, and he's been good throughout. I kind of wish he was starting a bit deeper in the field, but I'll take Chase Elliott at 11th. Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., no. Eric Jones. Legacy Motor Club surprised me last week with the performances of John Hunter Nemechek a bunch. I would include Eric Jones in your GPP pool. Should he be in your 20 max pool? Probably not. Should he be in your 150 pool? For sure. Ryan Blaney, he's a fantastic play all the time. He's like the dream DFS play, like every week. He's fast every weekend, all the weekends, at every track type. And he always qualifies kind of So he always gives you place differential upside with race winning upside, with race leading upside by the time like stage 2, 3 rolls around. So you always love Blaney. Cindric, sure. The Dinger, I mentioned him earlier. He's a big fade for me this weekend. Literally, if you play him, you're gambling on the chance that there's an early caution flag. That's kind of how it goes for Dinger. Justin Haley, not for me. Ryan Preece, yeah, I like Ryan Preece. I don't have him wrote up anywhere on any of my plays so far on the website currently, and he probably won't make that list, but I still like him as a play. Josh Berry, love him. Austin Dillon, no. Ty Gibbs, yeah, I'll take a chance. I'll take the chance. He was decent. He has great track history here. He's in good equipment, and he starts 22nd. I'll take the chance with Ty Gibbs. Shane Van Gisbergen's a big no for me. Alex Bowman, 24th. Hendrick Motorsports, 7,800. Yup. Kyle Busch, like I mentioned earlier, he's self-spun in practice, no damage. Be aware of him potentially dropping to the rear. And B, I don't know. I just, the man has talent. Oh God, does this car suck for him? Period. Carson Hocevar, yeah. He's fast all season. He is. I was saying this last year about Ty Gibbs, so I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth with Hocevar. But he's going to get close. If not, he's going to win one of these damn things. One of these weekends. So yeah, fire up some Hocevar for me. Zane Smith is probably a no. Larson, of course. Cole Custer, yeah. Noah Gregson. If my choice is Cole Custer, Noah Gregson, or Ty Dillon, well, I mean, Noah Gregson's 6,400 compared to the other two, but yeah, I don't have any issues taking a shot on Noah. I wish he was performing a little bit better, but I don't think that's a him problem. I think it's his equipment problem. So, yeah, I have no problem taking a shot on Noah. Ty Dillon, you know what? For 5K, sure, why not? Take the shot on Ty Dillon. Daniel Suarez, He's in the same Trackhouse equipment that Ross Chastain qualified 5th in, and Mi Amigo is starting 32nd. Buyer beware. Heim time. Corey Heim is making a Cup Series start for 2311. I wish he wasn't 6,700. I really wish he wasn't 6,700. If he was 5,700, yeah. If you aren't aware, Corey Heim is a Truck Series standout. He's like the must click every week of the Truck Series DFS game. If you're looking for players to fill your 150 GPP pools, sure, throw them in there. But 20 max and below, no. Cody Ware, no. Gilliland, yup. Nemechek, yup. He looked great last week. Is that going to happen again? Who the hell knows? But for 5,500 and all that PD upside, I'll take it. Riley Herbst, he would be the furthest back I would consider, because old JJ Yaley is a big no for me and Chad Fincham is a no for me. So I feel like most players, as far as how deep they will be starting, folks, will probably stop with John Hunter Nemechek. But I would include Riley Herbst as well, because he's in that same 2311 equipment that Corey Heim is in, and he is tremendously cheaper, and he's been racing all season. So has it been a good season? Absolutely not. But anything can happen. All right, that is it. That's all I got. I have no other notes. Let me just quickly read this to make sure I didn't miss anything. Hey, I didn't. All right, I'm going to wrap up this video, start working on the rest of the slate plan, and hopefully by the time I'm done with that, I'll be ready to finalize ownership projections. So good luck in all of your slates on this beautiful Sunday morning. Congrats to those who won F1. We had some F1 winners this morning. And as always, let's ship it.